Intermittent fasting and what to eat. I previously talked a little bit about eating. There's so many diets and so much BS out there. It's incredible. And really, the basics are super simple. If you think about how we fed ourselves in the past, you can deduct a lot of how you should feed yourself today. Um, Today, I want to talk a little bit more about when to eat. It's so crucial, obviously, what to eat, but when to eat is just as important. And we live now in a world where we feed ourselves constantly. We're even told to eat constantly to kind of keep the stomach busy. It's BS. You should give your stomach break. It's like a workout. You don't want to work out 24/7. You need to give your muscles a rest, right? When you work certain muscle groups, people say take a break a day and then go back to that group again. Same with eating. Now, you don't have to take a break, but you have to take you don't have to take a full day break, but you have to take a break. So what I'm practicing, and I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight because I also changed what I eat, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But when to eat is a crucial point. So if you cannot change anything, obviously eat healthy, but eat what you want, but eat when, change when you eat. So I'm trying to I'm doing intermittent fasting, so that means I eat every day, but I just don't eat all the time. The the snacking kind of is an industry of the is an idea of the food industry, right? Any industry is a business, and any business wants to make money, so they just want you to consume more of it. And that's the reason why people tell you to constantly snack and have a little bit of apple in between, and then have an afternoon tea and all of these things. No, you should really have dedicated times where you eat. They can be whenever you want them to be, but you should eat a lot then, and then not eat for a while, and then maybe have a second meal, and then again not eat for a prolonged period of time. So what I'm doing, I have usually a late lunch. It kind of depends uh, when I get up and when I work out. But that I first work out, and then I have something to eat, and usually it's lunch. And then I ideally don't eat until I have an early dinner, and I usually try to have the two within a time span of 6 hours, and and then not eat for 18 hours. So you shouldn't eat for 16 to 18 hours, and then in the 6 to 8 hour window in a day, you can eat, and ideally you have, you know, committed meals and not the constant smacking in between. There's two reasons for that. One, you just want to give your stomach a break, because actually digesting consumes energy, and it's just this machine that's constantly running, never getting a break. It's like your brain and your body; they all want to get a break. Your brain rests when they sleep. Your body is when you're not using it, i.e., when you're not working it out, and the same for the stomach. And so you want to take that break, and you will shed a lot of weight. Now, I didn't actually want to shed that much weight. I just lost, and everybody's like, "Oh, are you healthy?" I'm super healthy. And if you think about the people that live in I don't know, in the desert, or kind of that live more originally, most of them are not fat, and it's because they just have. It's obviously what they eat, but also when they eat. And we're not meant to constantly put something in our body. That only exists since we can go into the supermarket. Um, so this is when to eat, and try it. Especially if you want to lose weight, it's gonna help you so much. I lost a lot in, I don't know, it was a week or two. I just dropped 5 kilos, which is 10 pounds. So if you want to learn more about that and the science behind that, there's a fantastic book. It's called the Obesity Code. I hate the title, because whenever I want to give the book to someone, it implies they're obese. That's not the case. It's just how to eat more healthy, because basically, if one is fat, it's an expression that you're not. It's not your mistake. It's there's this huge blame game in society about being fat. It's an expression of your body that you're not, that it's not healthy. It's like it's getting excess energy, and it's getting the wrong food, and it puts it into fat cells. So one thing we just talked about is when to eat, and that's like just as important what to eat. And what to eat is, obviously you want to eat as healthy as possible. What does that mean? That means as close to nature as possible. That also means, as little as treated as possible. That means, what was put on it when it was in nature, i.e. no pesticides, no herbicides, for animals, no hormones. You wanted to have the least amount of processing steps that went into it. So a friend of mine says, like, whatever has a label on it, you don't want to eat. That's obviously extreme. It's very hard, but it's really true. If you go into a shop, a food grocery store, you see aisles where there's products like fruits and vegetables that don't have labels, right? You don't have to tell what's in there because it's the original form. And then all the other aisles are packaged and they have labels. So that's kind of the idea. You want to stay in the aisles mostly that are unprocessed or at least processed. And if there are labels on it, then you want to think about what's really in there. And so things to exclude if you want to lose weight and lose healthy and be healthy, and the two are related. It doesn't mean you do it 100% of the time. My rule is I now cook mostly at home, and there I'm trying to be quite strict. But for the rest of the time, I eat anything. And so when I'm invited or I'm out, I kind of spoil myself. And of course, if you're always invited or always out, you shouldn't do that. Again, it's just about, but you should also treat yourself to have some fun eating. So it's not about being religious, and also leave other people alone. If you tell other people what to eat, except those that decide to watch a video about what to eat, they're gonna really not like it. Like, people have to you should just be a role model, as in try to take care of yourself, and other people will take notice, and then they will inquire, and maybe then they follow. But if you keep telling people, oh, don't eat animals, or don't eat, this is unhealthy, or only eat then and then and that, people don't like being told what to do. It's much better to show them what to do by doing it yourself. So when I'm out, I just eat whatever, and like that, I also make sure that, because diet is really a complex theme. Like, if you think about vegan or being vegetarian, these are great, but you also have to make sure that you get everything, and science is contradictory on what you should eat. So I think the rule, basically, be as close to nature as possible, being as least as treated as possible, and also think about the ethical and environmental aspects. That delivers a healthy diet, and it has really worked for me. One thing I noticed, for example, we eat way too little fiber, so fruit, vegetables. I started eating a lot, and as a result, I started getting diarrhea, right? So you can also take it the other extreme. So I had to reduce that consumption a bit, and bring kind of other carbs back into it. But another idea, the idea of that carbs are bad. Well, pizza, pasta, bread, these are processed carbs. They are bad. They spike your blood sugar, they spike your insulin. They ultimately, in the long term, create insulin resistance. And then that's pre-diabetes, and then you have diabetes. That's why so many people suffer from these diseases, because that we just feed ourselves the wrong stuff. Any fast food, obviously, but also pizza, pasta, bread, they're just not good for you. So you can eat them occasionally, eat them once a week, twice a week, but just not every meal. And so, again, I will talk more about diet in the future. It's a huge aspect of your health, not just of your weight, of your overall health. It has even been linked to depression, etc. If generally, body is this whole machine. If you treat one part bad, other parts fail. But if you take care of them, the body can take care of itself, and you're unlikely to contract, diseases, especially disease affluence, cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, etc. So just learn to take care of it, and usually it sends pretty strong signals how it feels about itself. And once you start doing that, life will never be the same again, and have a wonderful day.